What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. Give you a quick overview of some of the current data points, what shorts are up to, and what is really moving it. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is down slightly, 1.1%. A lot of volatility. So 656 the low, 693 the high. So the market didn't really care all that much about that recent MOU that was signed Friday after hours, which in my opinion is just very unfortunate. But at the same time, you are seeing a little bit higher volume. So 50.6 million shares being traded, 83.9 is the average. So what that's really telling me is, especially if you kind of look at this, just algos are pulling NIO down. So 2 transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. So you're not really seeing a lot of institutions actually buy NIO. Rather, they're actually selling based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price. So 164,000 and then 167,000. So not necessarily the best, but like I said, the broader indexes are red today. So algos, which do make up the majority of NIO's volume, is just kind of dragging it down as a kind of byproduct of that. So NASDAQ currently down 0.32, S&P down 0.35, and Dow is down 0.57. Nothing really crazy to kind of justify today's pullback, because yeah, it's just a lot of speculation on just the market running up too much too fast. And then at the same time, because of the recent good data that's been coming out, you actually have the likelihood of no rate cuts for November 7th starting to pop up. So Friday, we kind of got rid of and officially priced out that 50 basis point cut. And now you kind of see the likelihood of no cut popping up to 16.5. And that, in my opinion, is more scary to the broader market than anything. So it's one of those weird things. The market cares so much about monetary policy, but seems to be neglecting the true actual data. But again, long story short, algos kind of are dictating where NIO is going. Plus, on a side note, you do have shorts, which most likely are going to be relatively quiet for the first part of the week and kind of active near the tail end. But currently, they're increasing 156, or rounding up 157,000. 12.6% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 68.34 million shares. Cost to borrow average is 2.86, utilization 95.06, and then short score is 74.74. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. And just generally, you can kind of see how shorts have been really getting back into NIO. And given everything that's been coming out ever since their last earnings, the MOU, like so many things are coming out to really show that NIO is a force to be reckoned with. And even with the European Union kind of adding some tariffs, I really don't think that will like kill NIO's chances of really moving into Europe. So yeah, honestly, NIO is just one of those things, one of those stocks that just gets heavily manipulated. I've brought this up time and time again. Every single video, I always bring up how just on a multiple standpoint, NIO is just so suppressed. One of the most discounted EVs. Actually, it is the most discounted EV out there, which is kind of ironic because the amount that they produce basically in 1 month is kind of more than even Lucid on an annual basis, and pretty much more than half of Rivian and whatever. So I don't know, when you are investing in NIO, you literally have to have diamond balls, if that kind of makes sense. You just have to weather the volatility. But then again, if you guys have been in NIO for longer than 6 months, you guys would know that it's all over the place, sometimes defying logic. But looking at the options, 5.13 million in calls, 3.88 million in puts. 54% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish. This one clearly stands out. So between 10:50 and 10:55, so roughly around 30 minutes ago, there was 2.1 million in premiums. And if we kind of open this up just to see exactly what this is all about, you see one very large one, which is bullish, a $7 put. So in case you guys don't know that, Essentially, if it does close below that, then that entity does buy it at 7. If it closes above it, then they get to keep that premium. So it's kind of a win-win in reality. But there was also one bearish one right here, 650 put, and then a couple other bullish ones. So more of a multi-leg strategy. So if you guys don't know options, highly suggest in researching them, because it can be very, very profitable and beneficial. And of the call options that are being purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $7.50 to $8 range. And then on the flip side, looking at puts, you see a consensus for it to be kind of sub $6 this week, and then oddly, whatever reason, $4.50 next week. So kind of all over the place in reality. So not that much optimism right now, at least at the time of doing this video. But right now with it at $6.68, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So $6.96 is going to be the next strong resistance slash target. Kind of did bounce off of that general area as far as the high. So we do know going forward, that's a very strong resistance. Next support is going to be $6.46. And the reason why it's very wide is because NIO did run up. So just anticipate a lot of volatility for the foreseeable future, as I've kind of mentioned. But on the actual chart itself, as I always have been stating, as long as it is still making higher highs and higher lows, it does not matter if it does consolidate a little bit. It's still overall generally bullish. And yeah, I think as long as it does stay above roughly around that 640 range, then yeah, things should be pretty a-okay, at least in the short term. But it is higher percentile. Stochastic, you do see a bearish deviation. I'll kind of zoom in here so you guys can see it. So red line above the white, but it is at roughly around 66. So somewhat neutral, not considered overbought nor oversold anymore. So it's somewhat resetting, maybe a positive note, but number of retail investors at the same time are getting out. So maybe profit taking or whatever else. So if you guys are in NIO and you guys are selling, or if you guys bought more, give yourself a shout out in the comments below. And if you did sell, let me know why. Kind of curious, do you think that there's just more uncertainty in the market that's going to cause NIO as a byproduct to kind of pull down, or do you think that shorts are going to double down? What's your guys' thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Make sure you guys take advantage of this promo. It does give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal. And one final thing, I did launch my memberships through YouTube. So if you do like my channel and want to support the growth of it, then definitely consider subscribing and joining as a member. But with all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching.